So once again, thank you for having me. I am Melanie, and my husband is Melanie Wright, is an ag teacher at Union Grove. We love being in Gilmer, been here almost 12 years. We have a passion for Hannah House Maternity Home. Just have to stand over here while I do this. So some of you might be familiar with Hannah House. We have been in the Gilmer area for 10 years, just not been really up in the Gilmer community. So this year we signed up to be chamber members, and we want to make it known that we are here, we're in the community to help serve the needs of women and children. So we are a maternity home that takes in, hold on, why is it not going? Yeah. Can you?
I don't know.
It's not.
It's not responding?
It's not responding.
What's it supposed to be doing?
He told me to wait. Oh, there it is. He told me this was a slow computer, and I'm thinking it is. So, we are a maternity home that houses, oh, goodness gracious. So, we're going to start over. We are a maternity home that houses women 18 and older in crisis and unplanned pregnancies. We take in women from all walks of life. They could be walking down streets in Gilmer homeless, in Longview. We've had some from Illinois, all over. Or they could be the girl in church with you that is scared, not knowing what she's facing. We bring them into Hannah House. We walk them through what it looks like to parent, to place for adoption. We give them every opportunity, every resource. We provide basic living expenses, counseling, spiritual guidance. We are a faith-based ministry, so all of our girls go with us to church. They have different Bible classes, and they are also up at Open Door Pregnancy Center here in Gilmer every Tuesday afternoon. They are part of our family. They actually stay in the home with us. Right now we hold 2 girls at a time. Because of their issues, we are looking to build a bigger facility to house them in. And we have about 60 acres out here in Gilmer, in the Glenwood Acres area. It's a lot of upkeep. If you've ever, it's a lot of upkeep. But we do measure success in many ways. It's the faces of these women that come to us, broken and ashamed. But when they come to Hannah House, you just see the change that takes place in them. We also see success when a baby is placed in a Christian family through adoption, and they're breaking that generational curse. We walk with them, like I said, 24 hours a day. And sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad, and sometimes you're downright about to pull your hair out. Those are some of our babies from last year. We have been a part of Hannah House for actually the whole time they've been here. They moved down from Glen Rose, Texas back in 2010. Our founders came. And I started being a volunteer, and then I was on the board and took over 3 years ago as running the program. We have a lot of needs currently. This is our new facility that we're in the process of building. We have not broke ground yet, but we are getting there. We're getting there very closely. And there's the layout for that. Volunteers. We always need volunteers. When we bring in these girls, we cannot leave them alone in the house, so we have to have somebody either get them to their appointments, just oversee projects, help with events, help with lawn care. Like I said, back that 60 acres, it's a lot to maintain. Be a contact at your church. Those are great things that we need to have. Relief at the hospital. Our girls, some of them come out of domestic violence situations, so we are non-pub when we go to the hospitals. So you're very, we want to keep them safe at all times. So we do have somebody up at the hospital 24/7. And here's some more of our girls. We believe in just educating them on what a family looks like, what it means to cook and clean and operate as a family. Some of the donations that we take in. We are 100% funded by individuals and churches. We get no assistance. And this is just kind of some of the things that we had happen in 2018. Served over 950 meals, witnessed 4 babies, placed a baby, and transitioned a mom to TWU, Texas Women's University in Denton. Just saw her this past weekend and her baby, and they're doing amazing. Numerous calls. We answer numerous calls in crisis situations, and we navigate those and send them on to where they need to, and if we can bring them into Hannah House and that's a good fit for them, we welcome them. And more importantly, we spread the word of Jesus to every person who enters the door. Some have heard of Jesus and some are like, what are you talking about? So we have an opportunity that we don't want to let slip by. And that's what we do. Any questions?
You mentioned 18 and over. What do you do with the girls younger?
We refer them to Mercy Manor. Mercy Manor is a maternity home in White Oak. We, since they are minors, we cannot house minors. Eventually that is on our master plan, what we're going to do. But we're working on getting the gathering place, and we're ready to go first. Yes?
So, how many people did you say you have out there at one time that you're working with through the process?
So we take 2 girls that live in the home with us, me and my family. And those girls come with a lot of issues. Majority of them are addicts, straight off the street. Majority of them are high risk, so we're at the doctor 2 and 3 times a week. So 2 is what we take in right now. Because of space, because we have a very small house.
You're building that new house before too long.
Yes.
So will that raise the number of people that you deal with on a given time frame?
Yes, so on the new facility, it will hold 4, and it'll actually be right over here on the other side of the gate, and there'll be a little walkway to the big house, to where we'll still have family meals, still have Bible classes, and do a lot of the same togetherness, but they need more independent and space, 15 space, so it'll hold 4 girls. And then we can grow off that the new house as well.
So 2 questions.
Yes.
Exactly where is this located, and do you and your husband fund this completely yourself? Or?
No, so, okay, we are in the Glenwood Acres area, and we are a secure location. We are only open to the public once a year, and that's for our Faith, Family, and Freedom fundraiser coming up on June 29th. No, this is a 100% voluntary run ministry. We are funded by churches and individuals. No government funding whatsoever. So we have to do a lot of begging and pleading and praying.
Are you a tax-exempt organization?
Yeah. We do go to various churches. We're not we're not just Baptist Church of Christ. We're everywhere.
I'm not missing, but how long do the clients stay there?
They're there the entire time of their pregnancy. If they place for adoption, they're allowed to come back up to 6 weeks. It's case by case, depending on what they have lined up for their next step. Because we cannot hold minors, that's why we cannot bring any babies back. The girls have to have a plan in place when they leave the hospital.
So you help them with the plan and all that
Yes.
as well?
We do all of that.
And then, so with you building a new facility, you're going to need additional house parents?
No, that is one thing that we'll be changing. We'll be there 24/7, still in the home, and they'll be in their facility, but we'll be together a lot, if that makes sense. They just need a little bit more independent living.
So do you need some assistance, for example, like you pay for them to become a certified nurse aide and get them a job here close by? Are they to a point where you're trying to get them out and learn life skills to go to work and come back from work and do their laundry?
Right, so we're doing all the life skills, we're teaching them all that. The problem we have is a lot of our girls, the lifestyle that they have lived can hinder what the next step is for them. So they may be facing jail time, they may be facing going to a rehab for 2 years, or they may be have all they're getting their ducks in a row, and they're gonna go back to school. And so we have different programs that work with single moms all over Texas.
And
Does that make sense?
So they don't qualify for a women's shelter because they may have a felony, or is that what?
No. They can, any of them can go to the shelter, but we are trying to change their lives and help them make better decisions. And so we consider if they go to the shelter, you know, that would be going backwards rather than forwards.
Sure.
So that's what we do.
and you use the term single mom, and also you talked about the adoption, so are most of these going to be adopted out and not be a single mom, or a lot of them keeping the baby to be a single mom?
Last year, we had 2 adoptions, it's kind of 50-50. So it kind of changes this, right now I've got 2 girls, one's parenting, one's placing for adoption. One's having identical twin girls and one's having a little boy, so, and both due the same day. So it's a little bit of a crazy time. And we use Christian Homes and Family Services for our adoptions. All of our, if they want to make that decision, then we have the adoption workers that come in and work with them. And so that we don't do any of that. I don't deal with adoptions.
So why can't you take anyone under the age of 18 if they're
Minors.
not any government benefits?
We're not, well, so when you're dealing with minors, it gets very messy and ugly and complicated and just a lot of legalities. We are not a licensed foster home, and so therefore we cannot take minors. That's just how it is. Eventually, like I said, that is in the vision for the future, but not for several years down the road. We were previous foster parents, so I've kind of been on that end, and the state all up in your business 24/7. So that's why.
Do most of the women that come in stay throughout the entire pregnancy, or do you have many that come in and for one reason or another decide it's not for them to leave?
Yes, all the above. I've had some stay the entire time. They're like, I'm pregnant, I'm 6 weeks pregnant, and they're there till the end. And I have others that have come in maybe halfway through, and they'll be there 2 months. And once the new wears off and the drugs are not available, they have a real hard time. And so they know at any point, I mean, nobody's holding them here, you can leave at any point. We want them to be very cautious when they make the decision, because once they sign their papers to leave, they cannot come back. And we want them to know, you know, is that the best decision you're making for your baby to be walking the streets? But it's hard to let them go.
Do y'all have any assistance with pursuing the baby's daddy in this financially or legally?
Absolutely.
I'm a big believer in that
Absolutely.
you're responsible, you need to take care.
Oh, absolutely. What we've dealt with, well, if they're placing a child for adoption, obviously the adoption worker takes care of all of that. Majority are wanting to get away from the situation because it's drugs, domestic violence. So obviously those type of situations, we're there for her. We're there for that birth mom, and we're there to protect her. If it is a good situation, but yet he doesn't have his act together, or they just need some help, it's all case by case. We give them opportunities if they're welcome to meet us at Open Door if the baby daddies want to get involved. Majority of the time, they do not. Anything else? Any other questions I can think of?
How about a success story?
Success story. Wow. So we had a baby that was placed last year to a family. It was her number, and this is one of the things. We have girls that come in and they're like, this is my 5th baby, this is my 8th baby, 10th, and no custody of any of them. So we really try to talk with them and say, what are we doing here, you know? But this girl in particular, she was on number 5, and she knew that she had placed another baby for adoption, and she wanted to place this baby. And so she placed her with a family that had no children. They had had 12 years of infertility and failed adoptions, failed numerous things. And so that was a beautiful thing, but we also got to witness a young mom, about the age of 20, want to get out of her generational mess, is what she called it. And so she is at TWU and she's parenting, and her baby will be 1 next month. And I mean, those are beautiful things to me. I have a passion for this, so when I can see that take place, I love it. And we kind of have the same thing going on right now, which is that. So, yeah. And we're saving lives, we're saving babies, and we can give them that home when they choose life.
In one of your slides, I saw TWU in Denton, so what's...
Yes. So we, you kind of, when the girls come in, I kind of want to get to know them and know what direction they're leaning towards. And so I don't throw, 100 different programs out there to them. And so once I kind of figure out which one looks, or several that look good for them, that fit their match. So I showed her several, and TWU is one of those. Arms of Hope is a program that is based out of the Singing Oaks Church of Christ in Denton, Texas. The Bowles home and the Medina home merged. And so they help with our girls. And so we get them ready to go, and they transition there. And she's a sophomore.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the Promised Land Ministries, the parent?
Good question. I forgot to mention that earlier. So when the ministry moved down here 10 years ago, it was Promised Land Ministries. It was Hannah House Maternity Home and Chosen Child Adoption Service. We dissolved that adoption side last August. So moving forward, we're changing the name to Hannah House Ministries, so it's not confusing. We're just doing the paperwork right now.
So it will become the 501c3?
It already is.
Okay.
We'll have a merge. Yeah. Yeah. It's very busy days, very long days sometimes, and very challenging days.
So there's no grants at all that are available for?
We have applied for some, and we will eventually some more.
What program funds those grants? Is it on a state level, a federal level?
I do not know. I am not over grants, so I would have to. One of my board members deals with that. But being faith-based, we are. I mean, it's a challenge in itself.
So you have a board?
We do have a board.
Oh, how many members?
4 members.
Okay.
We regrouped the board the end of last year. And so we will have our first cherish celebration in Gilmer in January, so be on the lookout for that.
You mentioned June 29th. Tell us about that.
So June 29th is going to be our second annual Faith, Family, and Freedom fundraiser. It's out at the Hannah House property, and we will have Chick-fil-A box meals, entertainment by the Harvest Moon Country Grass Band, I believe, and fireworks on the water. So y'all be sure to come out. Yes?
How are your kids with all this? Because they're around.
My children? So I have 5 kids. I don't know if I mentioned that. And my youngest was adopted out of the foster care system. We've always kind of worked with people in need, I guess. And so my kids just kind of grew up around it. They just kind of, it's what they do. Sometimes it's hard for them. Sometimes it's really sad because they hate to see the girls go. My 4-year-old will go, "Where's so-and-so? She missed my birthday party." And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry. She's in jail," or what. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know. But it's challenging moments, but I'm proud of them. They've done well.
How many can your facility hold?
Well, in our home right now, 2. But the new one will hold 4. It's a challenge when to some girls, well, they all need a family, but to some of them it's so raw and uncomfortable that scares them. So we've kind of looked at all areas of how we can change things, and we see this new facility as being one of those big changes that's going to do good.
So when that new dormitory is there, will that mean 4 is the total when they move out of your house, or will the total be 6?
4 will be the total.
Okay.
If you were to volunteer or visit with any of our girls, they're very challenging cases. A lot of them have 30+ years of drug use, so there's just things that we encounter on a daily basis that are very hard for all involved. Especially, like I said, I have a girl with twins and a girl with single deliveries, so me being everywhere and trying to help numerous people, we would rather just help small numbers and do a better job, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So there's our new facility. This is a crafting room and a sewing room, and that's for therapy. They do, once we're out here, we want to be as distraction-free as possible for our girls. So this is good therapy for them, and then this is their bedroom or bathrooms right here, and these are the bedrooms. And this is another, like, just a living room area and a big kitchen, because we cook all the time.
So is that 4 bathrooms in there?
Yes,
I can't
4
tell.
bathrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a clothing closet and a pantry and a washer and dryer. And then our house will be right here, within walking distance.
So how do you determine who gets to be part of this program?
So there is an application process online at hannahhouse.life. So they'll just go on and they fill out that application, and then we bring them in, we talk to them, have an interview, and talk through them. Because if they want just a good night's sleep or a warm meal, we want them to go to the shelter, because we want to actually bring them in to help change their life and help them make better decisions. We're not a shelter. So that's kind of what we, and obviously if you just got out of prison or you're going to prison for something, and it's a case-by-case basis. If you killed somebody, you're going to have to go somewhere else. That's just, and we got kids in the house, you know? So it's case-by-case.
Do you have a good addiction counselor that works with them to get them off of those substances that actually is a licensed?
Yes.
Is it close by? Do they come to you? Or
Yes.
They do go to the...
We get as many people to come to us as possible, for our girls. We do use Pathstones counseling in Longview.
Which one?
Pathstones.
Okay.
And like I said, all of our girls are case by case. So some are going to require high maintenance trauma counseling. Some will require this. Community health corps maybe out there 3 times a week for some. It's just case by case.
It's pretty much a closed environment, a closed campus, if you would.
Yeah, so we have 60 acres, gated security entrance, and so nobody can just...
Generally, they stay there also, they don't go, come and go.
No, they don't come and go. They're with us all the time.
Melanie, how many applicants do you get a year?
Oh, goodness. Well, the first of the year I had 12 within 2 weeks. It's like a roller coaster. You don't know. So you may go for a couple of days without a phone call, and then you may get 20 calls the next 4 days. So probably 100, maybe. I'd have to look back. A lot of them I have to talk through their situation, because if they have other children or if they're facing something, and they can't come to us. So I'm trying to get them to a safe place.
So only if they have no other children, they can come to the Hannah House?
Correct. Right. Or if they have a child, and they can find somebody to keep that child while they come to Hannah House, we have worked with those situations as well. Yeah.
So you get referrals from where?
Hospitals, pregnancy resource centers, counselors, shelters. I mean, we'll have to, go and pick the girls up at the shelters and bring them to us, all over.
Are there facilities like yours and other local, semi-local?
So maternity homes are kind of a rare thing. There's only about 300 nationwide and about 335 in Texas. Some of them are open, some of them are closed down. So we used to count by beds, now we just count by facility because it's hard. Yeah. It's not for everybody, I'll tell you that. But I mean, my family, I have a passion for women and children. I have a passion to help them. I don't want to see these babies grown up in situations that could be prevented if just given the resource of opportunity. So.
Do you have a lot of repeat offenders, like you said, like their fifth, sixth?
Well, yes and no. I bet we try to eliminate that, obviously, but it's hard. I mean, it's, you can't make them do anything, and so it's just hard. We used to have an aftercare facility, and they would, if they placed or whatever they're facing, they could stay there for a year. That really didn't do anything either. It's a high percentage that if they do have to place or then they'll get pregnant. A lot of them think that's just their gift. So, yes. Oh.
It keeps going hand in house.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're ready for twins, you're enough. Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.